This is Grumpy SEO Guy, episode 17, How to Fix 100% of SEO Problems. You're listening to Grumpy SEO Guy, the SEO podcast that doesn't waste your time with nonsense that doesn't work. I'm the Grumpy SEO Guy, and I'm sharing with you the strategies that have helped me successfully run my SEO agency for the last 14 years. In this podcast, I'll be sharing my knowledge and experience, discussing tips and strategies, and trying to help you cut through the confusion that permeates this industry. If you listen to this podcast, you will know more about SEO than 99% of people on the planet. Ready? Let's get started. I'm the Grumpy SEO Guy. Let me tell you why I'm grumpy today. I'm grumpy today because nobody seems to understand how to fix their SEO problems, and nobody even understands what SEO problems are. So in this episode, I'm going to explain to you how to fix 100% of SEO problems that you might come across, okay? But before we do that, my lawyer tells me that I have to say this right now. A quick disclaimer before we get started, everything I say here is based on my experience and opinion from 14 years in the industry. I don't officially know how Google or any other search engines work. Everything I say here is hypothetical and based on my experience. This podcast does not constitute advice or services. What worked for me may or may not work for you. Okay, back to the show. Now, let me just clarify right here. There is only one SEO problem that can exist, and that is this. You're not at the top of the search engines. That is the only SEO problem you can have. Any other problem on your website is not an SEO problem. If your text is bad, if your website isn't looking right, those are not SEO problems. If you're getting a lot of visitors and nobody's buying anything, well, that's not an SEO problem. That's a conversion optimization problem, which some people think is related to SEO, but it's not. Let me just say really quickly though, there's one exception, and that's if you're ranking for the wrong keywords. If you remember on episode 15, we talked about searcher intent and how some people search for certain words when they're wanting to learn information, and how some people are searching for different words when they want to buy something. So if you're ranking for keywords for people that are wanting to learn information, but not for people who want to buy, but the only thing that you're trying to do is sell things, that could arguably be stated as an SEO problem because you're ranking for the wrong keywords. But ultimately, if your website is at the top of the search engines and you're getting lots of visitors and they're not buying anything, that is not an SEO problem. That is a conversion optimization problem. Okay, now that we know what the one SEO problem that exists is, which is, again, you're not at the top of the search engines, let's talk about what could cause it and how to fix it. In 99% of cases, the reason you're not at the top of the search engines is because you don't have enough authority, okay? It has nothing to do with content. I've literally explained this many times in many other episodes, but let me just summarize it again in case you're just joining us for the first time. Content has nothing to do with rank, and I'm going to give you two examples. The first example is you can rank a website for keywords that don't even appear on the website. And I have given specific examples of this in episode 12. I think it's episode 12. So go listen to that if you want specific examples. The second piece of evidence that content does not matter is, I'm sure you've seen this. Have you ever searched for something, clicked on the first result, maybe you clicked on the second result, and the content was terrible. It was unhelpful. It did not solve your problem at all. It was bad quality content. But that website was still at the top of the search engines, wasn't it? Because content doesn't have any significance when it comes to rank whatsoever. We'll talk about this more in the future, don't worry. Okay, so in 99% of cases, you're not at the top of the search engines because you don't have enough authority. How do you get more authority? You get more authority by getting backlinks from authoritative websites. In fact, that is the basis for how my SEO agency has operated since its inception, okay? We have a portfolio of authoritative backlinks. We use those websites to link out to our clients, and guess what? Our clients get to the top and stay at the top of the search engines. If you've listened to this podcast before, you know that I often say 99% of SEO agencies and 99% of SEO consultants are scammers. And the reason I say that is because 99% of SEO agencies and 99% of SEO consultants don't get their clients to the top of the search engines. What are they doing then? What are they doing? Most of them I'll tell you, most of them are creating really good content because everybody thinks that content is king. Do you know how many SEO agencies I've talked to and they say their strategy is, we make really good content for your website? You know what else you do? You don't rank anyone anywhere for anything ever, because really great content on a website that doesn't have authority doesn't rank. Let me give you another example. Almost everybody that I talk to who's not at the top of the search engines has really great content, okay? The overwhelming majority of our clients have amazing content. Look, nobody understands their industry better than they do. If you work in a certain industry, I bet you understand that industry better than almost anyone else. Am I right? And you could probably write better content than anyone else. Am I right? Maybe not everybody, but that's true in most cases, okay? But your website is not at the top of the search engines despite having amazing content. Why do you think that is? It's because you don't have enough authority. I've mentioned this before, but have you ever noticed that certain websites, no matter what you search for, they always rank at the top? Wikipedia is one example. You can search for a ton of different things, and Wikipedia will probably be one of the top results. Do you think that's because Wikipedia has the best content? Of course not. It's because Wikipedia has more authority than basically anyone else on the internet. Of course, there's exceptions to that, but you get my point. There are other certain medical websites, for example. I'm not going to name anybody because not that they're bad. I'm just not going to name them. But if you search for a disease or something, these websites always rank at the top. Do you think that's because they have great content and nobody else has good content? Do you think their content is better than every other website below them? No, but you know what? Those websites have more authority than everybody else. That's why they rank. If you're not at the top of the search engines, there is a 99% chance that you have less authority than your competition. The solution to the problem is to get backlinks from authoritative websites, which will give you more authority. Now, of course, the backlinks have to be done correctly. They shouldn't be no-follow links. They shouldn't be sponsored links. They shouldn't come from spammy websites. They shouldn't be forum profile links. They shouldn't be blog comment links. They shouldn't be link farm links. There's a whole host of rules you have to follow, and I've talked about them before, but ultimately, great quality, authoritative websites that link back to you will increase your authority, and that will increase your rank. Let me tell you, in 14 years of running an SEO agency and in hundreds of client projects, we have had maybe 2 or 3 clients total where authority was not what was keeping them from being at the top of the search engines, okay? In every other case, the reason they were not at the top of the search engine was because they did not have enough authority, and the way we solved their problem was by giving them backlinks from authoritative websites, which increased their authority and got them to the top of the search engines, where they stayed for a very long time. Why? Because that's how search engine optimization works. More authority equals higher rank in almost every case, except for the cases that we're about to talk about. Getting more authority is how you get to the top of the search engines. Now, there's other things that are involved, like anchor text. For example, anchor text is the words that are used as the link from the other site. We talk about that in other episodes. You don't need to worry about that for now. Just understand, if you're not at the top, I'm saying this again, you do not have enough authority, almost definitely. Now, that's 99% of cases. And I'm just estimating here, but 0.8% of cases, okay? So 99% of cases is not having enough authority. That's the reason you're not at the top. In 0.8% of cases, which this brings the total to 99.8%, by the way, in 0.8% of cases, the reason you're not at the top of the search engines is because you have a penalty. If you have a penalty, it doesn't matter what you do. You won't rank for anything, okay? Fix your penalty. Go back and listen to episode 2. I walk you through the 3 most common types of penalties, how to identify them, how to fix them, and how to prevent them, okay? I'm not going to get into it now. Go listen to episode 2. If you don't fix your penalty, you will not rank. Okay. And also, episode 2, if you haven't listened to it yet, I explain a case where one of our clients got negative SEO'd, which is like a similar form of penalty. Negative SEO is basically just penalizing your competition. Yes, it's a real thing. Yes, it happened to our client. Yes, I explain exactly how it happened and what we did to fix it if you listen to episode 2. And yes, the search engines do periodically admit that negative SEO is a real thing. Sometimes they say, oh no, there's nothing anyone else can do that will affect your website. And then sometimes they say, well, there's almost nothing else anyone can do that will affect your website. Look, negative SEO is a real thing. We had it happen to a client, okay? Just go listen to episode 2. Okay. Now, we've got 0.2% left. Now, what's the other case? Okay? In 0.2% of cases, and yes, by the way, this makes 100%, okay? In 0.2% of cases, you have a technical error. For example, maybe put the no index tag, okay, in your header somewhere, and like, I don't know, maybe you don't remember that it was there and your website never got indexed, and now you're like, oh no, we're not ranking. But, well, yeah, you're not even indexed, so of course you're not ranking. I'm not saying that's the problem. I'm just saying that is an example of a technical problem that could be causing your website not to rank where you want it to, that isn't authority or penalties, okay? So, is that an SEO problem? Certainly. Why? Because you're not in the search engines, and the purpose of SEO is to be at the top of the search engines. So, if you're not in the search engines, that's an SEO problem. That's literally it. In 14 years, that's literally it. Almost every case is because you don't have enough authority relative to your competition. In very few cases, it's because you have a penalty. And in even fewer cases, it's because you made a technical error that is like specifically preventing you from being in the search engines. And yes, look, I'll include in the technical errors thing, maybe you have some other error that like, you know, Google Search Console is telling you about, you know, like handle your technical stuff. Okay. Like, I'm not going to walk you through every case here, but there have been times when somebody had like no index on the robots.txt and they're just like, oh, whoops. So yeah, that's it. Now, let's talk about things that aren't the solution to SEO problems. Okay, number 1, content. Everybody seems to think that, well, my site's not at the top. I just need to get some good content because the search engines love the good content. No, wrong answer. Go look at how many websites are ranking and have terrible content. More importantly, go look at how many websites have amazing content but aren't ranking. Do you know why they're not ranking? It's because they don't have enough authority. Now, right here, see, this is where there's like a big split in SEO, okay? Because like, at least half the people you talk to will be like, oh, backlinking is bad. You're not supposed to build backlinks because that's manipulation. The backlink building is manipulation. No, oh my gosh. Okay, first of all, as I mentioned in another episode, don't use the word manipulation. Use the word influence, okay? The entire purpose of SEO is to influence the search engines to make your website rank higher. Why do you think people follow all the guidelines and things they're supposed to do? Is it so they can stay at the bottom of the search engines? No, it's so they get to the top of the search engines. Rank comes from authority. If you want to wait for people to organically find your website, which, by the way, is not at the top of the search engines, if you want to wait for them to find your website, which isn't going to happen because you're nowhere at the top of the search engines or probably on the first page at all or the second page or the third page because you have no backlinks and you have no authority, then yeah, sure, that's cool. You can just wait. You can wait until someone finds your website, which isn't going to happen, and you can wait till they give you a backlink, and that little bit of authority might move you up a little bit, and you can just wait, and you can keep waiting. And then when all of your competition still outranks you in 2 years because you haven't done any real SEO, but you have tons of great content, well, how's that working for you? Is your business doing well? Are you getting lots of visitors, and are you getting lots of customers by not being at the top of the search engines? Email me. You can email me at hello@grumpyseoguy.com and tell me how well you're doing not being at the top of the search engines. But if you want to get to the top of the search engines, you need to get authority. If you want to get authority, you need to get backlinks from authoritative websites. Now, there's a few other ways that people will try to do this. As I just mentioned on a recent episode, a lot of people like to do link outreach and guest posting. And that's a very slow, very dumb, very boring, very ineffective, and possibly very dangerous way of getting backlinks. Does it work? I mean, it can work. You're getting backlinks from websites that have authority. You're going to get some authority as long as they don't do it wrong. But if you go back and listen to episode 14, you'll learn about all the problems and why it's ultimately, in my opinion, a waste of time. In 14 years, we have never done guest posting or link outreach for a client because it's ineffective, it's dangerous, and I don't know. Why would I waste my time emailing everybody trying to like sweet talk them into giving me a link? Oh, can I please have a link on your website? I noticed that your website is very authoritative and my website is about a similar topic and I think it might be relevant to your audience if you were to give me a link. Oh my gosh, no, that's gross. Can you be more needy? Can I please? Because what that comes down to ultimately is you're saying, excuse me, your website is very authoritative and good and my website is not, and can I please have some of your authority? No. People get those emails all the time. At least I get those emails all the time. I delete them. I delete almost all of them because it just no. Just no. So, same thing with guest posting. Can I please write an article on your blog but I want a link for myself. So I'm pretending to help you, but I really want a link for myself for my own website. So can I please do that? Please? No. Get out of here. No. Look, I'm not saying it doesn't work, okay? Like, it works, but it's so inefficient. Like, I bet if you email 100 people, you might get like 1 or 2 yeses. How much time did you put forth to get 2 backlinks? Do you want to know how a real SEO agency does it? They already own a portfolio of authoritative domains. So they just pick some of them that are good fits for that client. So they just start creating content for the websites that they already own. Everybody says yes because they already own them, and they create content for those websites. They put a link to the client with the correct keywords as the anchor text, and of course, making sure that you're not over-optimizing the backlinks. But you know what I mean. And guess what? The client's website goes up because that's how SEO works. It's fast. It's easy. In the time it takes you to email 100 people and get your 2 yeses and then negotiate back and forth the terms, and I say negotiate because they're probably going to want you to pay them, even though that's technically against the terms of service, I think. But you know what? SEO is like 99% buying and selling backlinks anyway. So, you know what? Consider that however you want, okay? But in the time it takes you to email 100 people and get 2 yeses, and then maybe your websites will stay online. Maybe all that time that you spent, do you think your link is still going to be online in a month or 2? I mean, maybe, but who knows? Maybe that website links to someone else who's a bad neighborhood. Now they're a bad neighborhood. They link to you. Now you're a bad neighborhood. Guess who gets a penalty? You get a penalty. Great job with your SEO there. How does it feel to not be at the top of the search engines? Anyway, a real SEO agency like mine, for example, we already own all the domains. So while you're emailing all these people and getting your 2 yeses, we've probably already built dozens of links. Now, of course, we're not going to post all of those links at once. I'm just saying, theoretically, that's how it works. I would never post dozens of links in a single day unless it was a very specific scenario. That would be a terrible idea in most cases, but you get the point. All right, so one thing I mentioned earlier was I mentioned conversion and conversion optimization. Let's talk a little bit about that because for some reason, I don't know why. Honestly, I don't know why, but everybody thinks that conversion optimization is part of SEO. We have turned away a lot of potential clients because they said, well, we're getting the traffic, but we're just not getting the sales. Okay, well, you need to go hire a conversion optimization agency or consultant or something because that's not an SEO problem. I don't know. Look, I know there's a lot of big SEO agencies that like offer all the services. They do SEO and they do pay per click and they do conversion optimization and they do website development and they do all this. You know what? Like, do you know what they do? Honestly, do you know how they do it? They're just middlemen. In most cases, not every case, but in most cases, they're just middlemen and they're just outsourcing it. Do you know how I know that? Because a sizable percentage of our clients are big SEO agencies who don't actually have their own portfolio. They don't actually build backlinks themselves, but they outsource it to my agency. Why do you think a big SEO agency would outsource such an important task? Why do you think so? Why do you think they wouldn't do it themselves? Isn't it funny how that works? Anyway, most, but not all, but most all-purpose SEO agencies who do all the things, they don't actually do any of the things. Maybe they do like one thing in-house, but generally speaking, They will outsource it to someone else. So that SEO agency that you're paying to do your conversion optimization, you're grossly overpaying them, by the way, because they're just paying someone else to do it. And that big SEO agency that is outsourcing the backlink building to us, guess what? You're overpaying them as well, because you have to pay them and then they have to pay us, but they need to keep some of that money. So you're paying them way, way too much. Just FYI. And if you want to save money, what you could do is build your own portfolio of authoritative domains, which I explain how to do in episodes 3 through 5. Okay? Yes, it's 3 episodes. They're very long, but they're very detailed, and they explain to you exactly how you do it. In fact, I'm not joking. I'm literally not joking here. If you were to spend a few months building your own portfolio, and yes, it will probably take a few months to do it properly, you could literally be more effective and more powerful than the majority of SEO agencies. I'm literally not joking. Like, working out of your basement with your computer and your portfolio of authoritative domains that you bought and you built correctly, as I explain in those episodes, you could be more powerful than the majority of large SEO agencies. I'm not joking. In fact, that's how I got started. I mean, I was in a bedroom, I wasn't in a basement, but I built my own portfolio, started to get amazing results for clients, and started to get SEO agencies as clients who were outsourcing to us for their clients. It's pretty weird, isn't it? It's almost as if you wanted to be good at SEO, you could just do it yourself. Isn't that weird? Nobody knows that. Now, is there a learning curve? Yeah, there's a learning curve. Does it take a while? Yeah, it takes a while. But it's totally worth it. The maintenance is like basically nothing. The upkeep is like basically nothing. I mean, I pay for domain renewals and I pay for a lot of hosting, but that's it. The only big expense is originally buying the domains because they're authoritative. They're very expensive. But you know what? You only have to pay that big fee once, and then you just pay like whatever the renewal fee is. It's not very much usually. So let's recap. What is the only SEO problem that exists? The only SEO problem that exists is that you're not at the top of the search engines. What is the fix for that? Well, in 99% of cases, actually over 99% of cases, the solution to the problem is to get more authority. In less than 1% of cases, you have a penalty, and in less than 1% of cases, you have some on-page thing that's keeping you from being at the top. But probably the reason you're not at the top is because you don't have enough authority. Okay, so stop trying to be like, oh, to make the changes to my content, because it's not a content problem. Get authority. If you've done all the research, if you've done all the checking, and I explain how to do this in other episodes, if you've done all the stuff, if you literally have more authority than your competition, okay, if you actually have more authority than your competition, okay, and your website is approximately the same size, okay, and you legitimately have good quality content, and I mean good as far as humans, like it's not annoying and it's not spun content, okay, and if you don't have a penalty, okay, and if you're sure that you don't have any like problems with your code or something, okay, but if you actually have a lot of authority and you're still not ranking, email me at hello@grumpyseoguy.com. And if you feel comfortable, share your website with me and I will check it and I will tell you what the problem is, because probably if you're emailing me and you're not at the top of the search engines, it's because you don't have sufficient authority relative to your competition. And just a reminder, your competition are the websites that rank for the keywords that you want to rank for, not necessarily businesses or other websites that are in your same field, okay? Your competition is the websites that rank for the keywords you want to rank for, okay? So if Wikipedia is ranking for one of your search terms, you might not think of them as your competition. They're not selling anything, okay? But they're outranking you, so they're your competition. By the way, Wikipedia has a ton of authority. They are very difficult, but not impossible to outrank. Okay, in conclusion, your website probably doesn't have enough authority. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe. I hope this episode is helpful. And if you have any questions, or if there's anything that you want me to talk about on a future episode, you can email me at hello@grumpyseoguy.com. And I'll talk to you later. You're listening to Grumpy SEO Guy, the SEO podcast that doesn't waste your time with nonsense that doesn't work. Join us next Wednesday when we talk about how to sell and how not to sell SEO.